What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. It's Thursday again, and it is Thursday night football, which means we're going to have two bets in the NFL tonight. Yesterday was as even as a day as you could have, straight up 1-1, because our one bet on the Cleveland Guardians was plus money. It was literally a break-even day. So we had the Guardians on the run line. They lost 3 straight games to the Kansas City Royals. Yikes. And the other bet we had was the Connecticut Sun in the WNBA playoffs, 2 advanced against Minnesota. We had them minus 4.5. I said yesterday this line makes no sense, and they won by 15 points. That game was not close, and it actually closed at 5.5, and even still, that didn't make any sense at all. So now the WNBA is moving into the second round. Now it gets harder. All the favorites won in round 1, so you've got 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3. It's about to get very interesting in the WNBA. Very excited to watch those games. Okay, before we get started with today's bets, if you don't mind, the link in the there's a link down there for the Discord channel. If you jump in the Discord, trying to get that more conversational, share your picks that you like. We can talk about video games, we can talk about other sports, whatever you like. Just trying to get that a little bit more conversational as opposed to just me throwing my picks in there, create a little bit of a community, which I like because social media is kind of all over the place and everybody is everywhere. And that's the best place to make a discussion. And also, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, I do this for free almost each and every day. The picks are free. I post share everything. It's always free. I just ask for a nice little subscription on the YouTube channel. Getting to today. Like I said, Thursday Night Football. There's obviously a reason that I am wearing the San Francisco 49ers jersey today. It's a big one. I think this is the biggest line so far. There's going to be, I think there's another one this week that's going to be in the double digits, but I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers at home against the New York Giants minus 10.5. for minus 108 at DraftKings. I understand if you want to be on the other side. I'm probably going to do a teaser as well to bring that line down and then go over the total, because 10.5 is a lot. All right, that is, even a touchdown on a field goal isn't going to get it done. That's only 2 points. But the San Francisco 49ers, I think if the Super Bowl was today, they would be in it and they would probably win it. I think they're the best team in the NFL currently, the most complete team both on the offense and defensive side of the football. They have beat Week 1, they beat Pittsburgh 30-7. Last week, they beat the Rams 30-23. Both of those games on the road. So this is their home opener at Levi's Stadium. The weather's supposed to be beautiful out in San Francisco. And you've got the New York Giants, who didn't score for 6 quarters. They ended up winning last week, but that was after they went down 20-0 early on against the Arizona Cardinals. And you'll remember, of course, in Week 1, it was a 40-0 shellacking at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys, the other team that might be one of the best teams in the NFL, Cowboys and the 49ers. I don't think the New York Giants have much of a chance in this one. They're going to be without Saquon Barkley, who's hurt. So what are they going to be able to do? The 49ers secondary is incredible. They're going to be able to stop Daniel Jones from the air, I think. They don't necessarily have the best wide-out attack from the New York Giants. And the 49ers are... This regular season is almost going to be practice for the playoffs. Just stay healthy. Don't get anybody injured. Let's get to the playoffs as healthy as we can and then go from there, get that first round bye. This one being, a prime time matchup at home, their first game at home this season. I think they're going to look to make a statement game. It's an NFC game, obviously, the NFC West versus the NFC East. So there is some importance there in terms of possible playoff seeding down the road. Give me the 49ers, big win, minus 10.5 from minus 108 at DraftKings. And I mentioned, Saquon Barkley's not going to play this game for the New York Giants. So, who's going to run the football? Probably Daniel Jones. You could argue he's their best runner. You can argue he has the best chance even when Saquon Barkley is in, because you can game plan for Barkley. It's a little bit tougher to game plan for Daniel Jones. With Saquon Barkley, so far this season, Daniel Jones has had 13 rush attempts against the Cowboys, and then he had 9 rush attempts at the Arizona Cardinals. This is the best prop bet of the day on bettingpros.com, and it's one that I like the most as well. Daniel Jones over 7.5 rush attempts. It's plus money. It's plus 110 at BetMGM. When you look at Daniel Jones so far this season, like I mentioned, he has ran a total of 22 times for 102 yards. He's averaging 4.6 yards per carry. That's pretty good. The San Francisco front seven is going to be able to get to Daniel Jones. I think he's going to have to be scrambling. I think he's going to have trouble finding players downfield to get the ball to. He's going to have to be running a lot. he might not get a ton of yards in this game, but I think he crosses the line of scrimmage at least 8 times just out of necessity, more so than, designs or game plans there. So last week against Arizona, he had 9 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. He also had 13 carries for 43 yards against Dallas Cowboys. And again, in that one, only 3.3 yards per rush because, again, he was forced out of the pocket. He was forced to run the football. That's when they had Saquon Barkley, and he's standing back there, down 30-0, trying to get the ball in the air. Could be the same situation here because the Giants, they're still 1-1. Like they want to win this football game. They have high expectations after their playoff runs last year, and it's just going to be out of pure necessity. I think Daniel Jones is going to need to run the football. He's also gone over this prop 6 of the last 10 times when the line's been set at 7.5. So even dating back to last season, he only had 6 attempts against Philadelphia in the playoffs, which is only 2 short. Against Minnesota in the playoffs, he had 17. Against Indianapolis in Week 17, he had 11. So when he goes over, he's getting like 12, 10. I think that's going to have to happen here as well. So Daniel Jones over 7.5 rush attempts for plus money, plus 110 at BetMGM. And your last bet of the day, you can kind of go 2 ways with this. We're going to Major League Baseball. We've got the Milwaukee Brewers at the St. Louis Cardinals. I like this bet both straight up on the money line for the full game, and I also like it on the money line in the first 5 innings because you have the potential for a tie in the first 5 innings, and it's also plus money. But for the official video, we're going to go on the money line for the entire game. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers to beat the Cardinals straight up. This is minus 104 at BetRivers, and it's a bit confusing. You've got the Milwaukee Brewers are 86-66. They're 20 games above 500. And then you've got the Cardinals 67-85, almost 20 games under 500. Milwaukee is going to win the NL Central. They're currently 7 games up on the Cubs. It's just a formality at this point. They're just playing that out, and the Cardinals are at the bottom of the same division as well. But Milwaukee's still going to want to win this baseball game. They've won 2 out of the 3 in this 4-game series so far. They lost 1-0 in the opener to the Cardinals, and they beat them 7-3 and 8-2. And I think they're going to be able to. It's weird that they are the underdogs here because you've got Wade Miley, lefty, going for Milwaukee. He's 4-1 in his last 5 starts. He's coming off 5 2/3 against Washington, where he gave up 3 runs. He's only given up 2.6 runs per start over his last 5. And then on the flip side, you've got Miles Mikolas going for the Cardinals. He's given it in 3 of his last 5 starts. He's given up 5 earned runs, including back-to-back. He gave up 5 against the Phillies. He gave up 5 against the Reds. And then previous to that, he gave up 5 to the Phillies again. So he hasn't pitched great. He's got an ERA of 4.2 over his last 5 games. So that's why I like Milwaukee in the first 5 innings. But, if you stretch it out through the duration of the game, Milwaukee's bullpen has a team ERA of 3.92. St. Louis is a full run higher at 4.93. So their bullpen has not been great at all. St. Louis versus lefties this year, a batting average of 240. So I like the Milwaukee Brewers both in the first 5 and full on the money line. But for the sake of this video, we will do that. So just a reminder, hop in the Discord. Let's have a bit more of a discussion. Let me know what your bets are for the day. But your official plays for today, give me the San Francisco 49ers to cover minus 10.5 for minus 108 at DraftKings. Give me Daniel Jones over 7.5 rush attempts for plus 110 at BetMGM. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line, minus 104 at BetRivers. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me across all my socials linked in the description. Your audio is on Apple and on Spotify. Have a great Thursday, and let's talk sports.